Hello, happy Saturday. This is going to be a quick video. It's Allie, and this is the 30-day Soul Innovator adventure all around self-worth and really creating legacy and longevity with the things we care about, with our relationships, with our wealth, with our vitality, with the impact we're having here. And most of us have figured out what didn't work, especially this whole year into the summer. And now we're figuring out what does. And we're really creating something that can go the distance rather than just give us a rush for a month or so, right? So today is a shorter one, also just because the last three have been pretty long. So if you are following this, I just want to give you some space, to have that. And so we'll just take a few breaths here and just connect with the energy of this 30-day adventure. And this is making me think of what I'm about to talk about. And we're just going to we're going to connect with all the practitioners and all the people who are part of this 30-day experience with you, and everyone who will be connected to the legacy you're creating as you step into the self-worth. So just take a few breaths here. Hi, Cameron. I think I just saw you texted me. This article is all about Qigong, so I'm excited that you're here. So just take some breaths here and just connect to everyone who's part of this 30-day. And even if this is all you did today for this 30-day adventure, the energy is working with you. So just tap into the legacy energy, tap into the self-worth energy, and just let yourself feel the energy of this container just for a few breaths. Feel the way something is beginning to build that will hold you in this. And then just take some breaths here. Really good. And yeah, I just want to share really quick. Who else is here today? I think it's... Cameron's here. Steph is here. So I'm just going to do this really quick. I think my article is pretty sufficient. And again, I just want you to hi Jen. Today is just a day, Erin. Today's just a day to connect into the container, the energy of it, the fact that you're still practicing it, the fact that, we're only 4 days in and we're building something that is already beginning to hold all of us, because there is a lot of energy. I mean, the first 2 years were energetic too. Yay, Erin. But I personally put a lot of energy and intention and focus. I have a lot, there's just a lot here for me around this, and I can feel that there's a lot here for all of us. So even though we're only 4 days in, there's just a lot being built in this container. So you can read the article, but basically today's theme is just practicing when you don't feel like it, and again, every day we do this doesn't have to be an hour energetic thing. It can be just tap into the connection. Agree you're still part of this. Hi, Kathy Jo. And today I woke up and it's Saturday and it was a really busy week, and I went to see the Black Klansman last night, which my heart is still so open from that. And I put in the article, but I really hope you go see it. It's a tremendous movie in that there's a lot of entertainment and fun. Everyone in it is incredible. And then also there's just this frequency of deep friendship and unity through the whole thing. And then the ending will just rock you. And I feel like that was some mastery I don't want to give it away, but the way, the energetic state that they guide you into at the end is incredible. It's like one of the most, I don't know, I'm still in it. But I really recommend you go see it. So I got up this early this morning, and one of my daily practices that's a newer daily, I'm someone who has all types of practices I'm doing all the time. I cross-train a lot. Hey, Jen. So, I do tantric things and yoga, and, there's always some deep thing I'm in. And this summer for me has been about releasing a lot of the practices. I was in so many hobbies. I'd become an elementary school kid, and just coming back into my real connection with myself and God and spirit, right? And just figuring out, because I'm building the legacy. And sometimes it can get a little loud when you're doing a million things. And one of the things, though, that I'm doing every day, I was home with my brother for several weeks, and he's a Qigong practitioner. We've got Cameron here, who's an amazing Qigong practitioner and teacher. And when I spent time with him and I started being in the Qi field with him every day, I realized, like, oh my God, you do this every day. Like, this is a no-brainer. And so I committed to something called a Gong, which is 100 days of a practice. And so every morning, the minute I wake up, the first thing I do is this thing called the Inner Smile meditation, which I really recommend. And then I go into this practice. And I think I'm like day 27 into like my own personal Gong with this particular practice. And today I woke up and I just didn't really feel like it. And Cameron's loving it. And I'm having a little social time later. And I was like, oh, I want to go get a new bathing suit. And I want to get, what cocktail are we going to make? You know what I mean? Like, that's more where my brain was. And I didn't really feel like doing it. I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. But the truth is I know my whole day and my whole life is different when I have a strong morning practice. And since we're only 4 days in, I will just recommend, if you haven't already created that for you, oh yeah, the Inner Smile is life-changing. It's like people who are building a legacy have a daily practice. And we know that. Think of Steve Jobs or anyone who's done something crazy and huge. Like, they're up at 4 a.m., they're doing some deep morning thing. You don't necessarily have to get up at 4 a.m. I don't, But, like, they do have some sort of deep daily practice where they're in their own field and in their own genius and supported with spirit and the planet before they deal with anyone else. Like, that's just, if you're a successful person, you get into your own vortex before you get into anybody else's. And it's harder to do these days because most of us do wake up and play with the smartphone, you can't help it, it's right there. So for most of us, right? So anyway, I just know, like, my whole day is different. And my practice has been Inner Smile, doing my Qigong practice. Then I connect with the three spirits that are really helping me with this legacy and the work, which is Spirit of Money, the Spirit of Hemp, and the Akashic Records. And we kind of all have our team soul board meeting. And then I go off into the day, and it's just like, obviously the day is the best. I've been so tired. Yeah, so again, like, consistency might mean that you do it in a way that allows you to have a touch point every day. So that's a great point, Jen. And for me, a lot of the practices I was doing, this goes back to legacy. They were not sustainable things to do every day. Like, I was in a partnered practice where someone had to come over to my house at 7 a.m. every morning. And I actually did it for quite a long time, like a year. But it's like, eventually that's not sustainable. You don't always want someone in your house first thing in the a.m., Like, you got to do things in a way that are sustainable. What I found is if you can just find something that's really loving and gentle and just has to do with you and is a certain amount of time, most of the time it's sustainable. I love Kundalini, but yeah, I've liked something, Sue, George, and Christina, I've liked something that's more gentle and like easy in the morning. And that's what I'm finding with Qigong. So anyway, I wasn't going to do it because I was like, I want to go get the cocktails and the bathing suit. And then I realized, like, no, you're going to have a whole different sort of day if you just do it. And the thing that popped into my head is something I'd always heard this year when I was doing that partnered practice, which is a real practitioner does practices when they don't feel like it. And so today I was like, really felt that. And I was like, I'm sure it's connected to our adventure. I love you too. And I was like, all right, I'm sure it's connected to the adventure. And so I did my practice. And as I say in the article, it's the strongest practice I've ever had. And my alignment and my strength and like there's all these subtle things in this practice that I couldn't really do before that all of a sudden I could do today. And I was like, oh wow, I stepped into the field of really being a practitioner. So I went to the next level with my skill or with my ability and my capacity. And so if you begin to treat the things in your life like a practice that you're committed to, especially, not everything. And that's why you have to just get clear on the things that are truly part of the legacy. And that's what we're doing all together this month. And that's what I'm doing with everybody in the Epic Legacy program is like, not everything has to be the legacy. Everything's building towards you, but you want to find like the few practices that are really a no-brainer that make you feel better afterwards, that ideally you do first thing so that you show up in your day and in your relationships in a different way. And what I had been doing until now is that I did this practice because of what it did for me. You know what I mean? And what it gave me. And hi Patty, I always felt like doing it so far. Today I didn't feel like doing it, but I said, hey, a practitioner does it when they don't feel like doing it. And today was about what I could give to the practice. So instead of what the chi field was going to give me, it was what am I going to give to the chi field? I'm sure a lot of mothers and fathers get this on here, right? Like there's probably days where many days I'm sure, where it's not, oh, what am I going to get out of being a parent? But it's like, I'm bringing my energy to the field of parenting today, right? And it brings you to the next level of who you are as a parent or a practitioner of parenting. And that's what happened for me today. It was like, wow, this is amazing. And it was like, oh yeah, now I'm a practitioner, because it was about what I could give and not what I could receive. But the truth is from that place, I received like a much deeper practice than I have before. What else did I want to say about that? Oh, the other thing was that I had only remembered, as I said, about the kind of fun errands for today, and then I realized I had also planned today to go to the bank and set up a special savings account that's connected to some legacy stuff. And I somehow, when I was not in the space of practitioner, I had no recollection of that. I was just like, maybe I'll go to IHOP also. Like, all these fun things, right? And those are all great too, but it was like, oh yeah, once I was in the field of practitioner, it reminded me like, yo, go to the bank real quick before you do the rest of that stuff, and you'll feel good, you'll feel in alignment with with everything you're building as someone in their legacy this month. So I loved that. I just felt like I wanted to just share that quick energy. And so, you know, we kind of just started this today with just tapping into the field, into the energy. And as we complete here, that's just the message for you. And you'll see it. I'll add the article to this as well. But it's just like, that's a true practitioner, is you do it when you don't feel like it. You do it to give to the practice because it's already given to you. And then you're going to end up receiving a lot. And then anyone who's building a real legacy, who finds the practices that happens for them with, that's the thing. Then all of a sudden you're in this new level of self-worth and new level of self-belief and self-love and self-trust, and suddenly you've built this legacy. So I'll add the article right here, but we'll just complete. Good to see you, Kay, as well. We'll just take a couple breaths here and just connect to yourself as a practitioner of this 30-day experience. Not just maybe I'll watch the video and see what will happen, but who are you when you actually step into this field as a true practitioner and you're truly practicing something every day of this 30 days, whether or not you feel like it, even if it's just to do a touch-in with the energy. So as we complete here, just take a couple breaths. And just feel into that part of you that's a practitioner, that's not just what's going to happen, the part of you that shows up for this. And breathe that into the upper abdomen. Feel your power, your will, your discipline. Feel your whole body coming into a different alignment and to a different sort of day than you were going to have before. And let just a moment of brilliance come into you right now. Just a thought that's brilliant, an idea that's brilliant. Just breathe it in. I liked that thought. And then just move it down your spine, ground into the earth. Have a beautiful rest of the day. We're officially starting the Epic Legacy Landscape Program. I'll put the link in here. We're gonna keep doing this and be practitioners together. And I love you all, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Wow.